Okay, so I guess I'm nothing if not persistent. I haven't ever had a stretch quite like this. It's like I'm being amped up somehow, at least in this moment, in the intensity of what I'm pursuing. So here we go again, looking at identity. Who am I? Or what am I? Is, I would say, the central question for everyone. It can have lots and lots of answers. We can have our biological answers from an Earth perspective. We can have answers from a perspective of multiple lifetimes. We can have answers from a perspective of, okay, right now, the form that we're all wearing is a human one, but we're not that. We're the energy that works within it, that manifests here. And I think most of you by now have heard of groups from different star systems. There are humans throughout the galaxies. And we've got Andromedans, we've got Pleiadians, Sirians, there's Cassiopeia, there's Arcturus, there's beings from everywhere. And so a lot of them are incarnate here, also wearing the human form. Okay, so there's a different angle on who am I. Maybe you're a Pleiadian. There are a lot of them running around. Their history is apparently extra tightly knit with ours. And so they play a key role. So we're looking under the surface here. You know, I love to do that. I'm fond of saying, don't get stuck in the words. Look underneath for what's really being said. Words are just carriers. Words are like the paints an artist uses. They're not the point. They help convey the point, though, when taken together. So, but let's go deeper. Who am I? In an earlier video or two, I have mentioned another way of looking at self as in the 3D realm, having 4 lower bodies that energetically go together to create the wholeness of a human being and their aura. And so that energy force field, if you prefer. And so, you know, the etheric, the mental, emotional, and then stepped all the way down to physical. But all 4 of these are considered physical. And I think one thing that it's important to look at, stay in heart with this. If you find yourself uncomfortable, if you find yourself balking at it, you don't have to accept a word that I say. Just stay in heart and look at it, that's all. More importantly, though, look at yourself and look at your reactions. I feel some of you in the solar plexus with this. And so call to mind the charts that you've seen of the electromagnetic spectrum and how huge it is. You know, we've got infrared in one direction, we've got ultraviolet in the other, but we've got all kinds of rays, gamma rays and X-rays and you name it. There's all kinds of measurable frequencies of energy radiating. And look at the visible spectrum, at the tiny speck, the tiny, tiny slice of known reality that our eyes perceive currently. Now, animals, I believe, perceive more than we do. They see and react to things that humans typically don't see unless you're psychic or clairvoyant or something. And so the thing is, though, it's challenging for us to find out about that when we can't see what they're seeing. So how do you test for that? Hello. And I'm sure there are those who will be the geniuses that will peer into this and their heart will lead them in that direction, and then we'll have some answers on it. But meanwhile, we get used to, when we stay in the conscious mind, in the left brain, conscious mind, we get used to thinking that what we perceive as reality, and it's really, honestly, truly not. It's provably not. We've got scientific instrumentation to show us reality, and we need those instruments because with the five senses, we just don't perceive it. So there's a certain arrogance built into mind, which always thinks that it knows and it knows best, and that makes it feel good. And you know, that's just, it's kind of built in, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just good to be aware that that's the tendency. And so when someone speaks of something that's outside the five sense reality, the tendency is to reject it. But I haven't even gotten off into hocus pocus or anything yet. This is known, measurable, documented reality. Okay, but let's take it a step farther. Any of you who have pursued Advaita, non-duality, or if you're like me, someone who really enjoys watching Muji's videos, then you're also aware that your consciousness, that anything that can be pointed to, identified, touched, named, anything that has boundaries, anything that's physical in any way, shape, or form, and that would include the entire cosmos, not just the universe, but the entire cosmos is physical. But you're not that, because you perceive that. You came first. That appears in your awareness. And so that has its existence in you. We're used to thinking we have our existence in the cosmos, but in reality, the cosmos has its existence in us. And what we're doing is we're working with self-definition here. This is who am I? It's a great question. It's a lot of fun to explore. It really is. You'll bump into things that will make you go, oh, you know, or you know, you'll find your solar plexus stirring and getting uncomfortable when you're out of your comfort zone. Well, duh. Okay, happens to all of us. Now, who am I? So we've got what's perceptible in 3D as the energy being, which is occupying the same space as the body, the physical body. And so I think a lot of us would be reasonably comfortable identifying ourselves as that, but we're so much more. And so we're blessed with the various teachers and the various ways that they have to take us beyond and into consciousness, and we can go there. Here's part of where I want to go with this. People talk about creating their own reality, and they say you have free will or you don't. You have choice or you don't. You're in charge of your reality or you're not. A lot of us have had very mixed results with working with the law of attraction and investing great belief and great energy and effort into altering our reality in certain chosen ways. And, you know, it sometimes works, but it's not consistent. And so we have that to fall back on as experience, or our friends' experience to look at and, you know, put into the pot as we're pursuing the inquiry. Who am I? I want to center it around that. I keep talking in this way. You're a sovereign being. Whoever and whatever else you are, whatever aspects of self we can discover, uncover, name, and discuss. You are a sovereign being. You're a light being. We're all composed of light. Everything is, and light is information. And so cosmos isn't what we think it is. The eyes and the senses are liars if we're thinking that it's reporting back to us a reality. It's not. We know quite well that there's tremendous space in an atom between the electrons and the nucleus, and that the total solid matter in a human body only half fills a thimble. We know this. So it's not possible that anything is solid, and yet it appears to be. Now, if you can stay in heart with this and just kind of tune out the mind for long enough to really take it in, these are proven facts. I haven't gone off the charts yet. I mean, I intend to, or I intend to go wherever my heart leads me. But at this point, we're still with measurable scientific evidence. Everybody knows there's tremendous space between atoms. And if you want a refresher course, although it's not totally accurate in everything, the Down the Rabbit Hole is really good. And What the Bleep is good as well. For we're energy beings. Ultimately, that's what we are. We have something that appears to the senses here, but let's not trust it so much. As we disidentify from it, our suffering quotient goes way down. You know, things